Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is going to be kind of funny, and it is from a Tinkle Digest, which super beaten up and bought at a used bookstore. If you look at the bottom there, it says that it was put together in 2005, reprinted September 2008. So these were some of the things that they put out during festivals, Tinkle. This one is, and Tinkle is great because it always has stories that are folk tales from all kinds of different cultures. This one is from Europe. It's from Ukraine. But it could be Indian because it has all of these things about landowners and rich people and peasants and smart peasants getting the better of rich landowners. And I like those stories a lot. A Dinner's Price, a Ukrainian folktale. Script by Prasad Iyer. Illustrations by Ajit Vasaikar. Once there lived a rich and haughty nobleman, as in pompous or stuck up, snobby, haughty nobleman who treated his tenants like dirt. Get out of the way, you! And he's just riding his horse and pushing people out of the way. But people still seem to admire him for some reason. They're sitting around the fire. One day, I saw our baron quite close today, and I looked over his fence and saw him drinking coffee. And one of the villagers is just disgusted by this, and he says, he treats you like filth, and yet you behave like kittens before him. They're all bootlickers. But me, I can dine with him if I so choose, says this one guy. And they're all laughing at him. Ah, ha, ha, ha. He will have you so soundly thrashed if you even step near his mansion. And the one guy says, ha, 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 you are a braggart. Ha, ha, ha. And the other guy says, I'm not. Tell you what. If you can make good your boast, you'll get 3 sacks of wheat and 2 cows from us. It's a deal. So this may have been before there was actual money that circulated around, or maybe in this particular village, they decided that items were more valuable than money, resources more valuable than money. Soon at the mansion, he knocks on the door and the lady announces to people inside, oh, it's one of the peasants. And someone else says, throw him out. Probably the baron says that. The peasant says, wait, I have good tidings for your master. And the servant lady says, what tidings? And then he says, if you were the baron, I'd tell you. But now, if you don't let me in. And then the maids are talking to each other, and they say, well, we better take him to the baron or else we might be in trouble. And the other one says, you're right. Come with me. He, 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 thinks the peasant. The first part of my plan is working. So then they tell him to wait, and they say, wait here. I'll find out if the baron will see you. Ah, here we have a date. This is actually from Tinkle Digest, May 1994. It's even older than we thought. So they take him inside, and Baron is having dinner. So you see the peasant chose a very good time. He didn't just pick any time because his bet was, I am going to have dinner with the Baron. I am going to dine with the Baron, right? So he shows up right at dinner time. And so they interrupt him and they say, well, there's this tenant. Bzz, 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 bzz. And then the Baron's like, send him in. So part 1 of the plan, now part 2 of the plan. So then the baron says, well, what are the tidings you bring? The news. What news do you have? The tenant whispered, tell me, what will a gold nugget so big cost? So he gestures with his hands there. So maybe the size of his fist. What will a gold nugget this big cost? And then the baron is curious. He goes, eh? Meanwhile, all his friends are seeing if he's going to actually hold up this bet, and they're watching through the window. Meanwhile, what is he doing? And the baron is thinking, perhaps this fellow has really found such a nugget. I must get hold of it. So then He calls his bluff. The peasant calls his bluff. So, you won't tell me? I'm going. Wait, look here. What's all the hurry about? Stay and join me for dinner. Suddenly, the Baron is very, very nice because he has assumed that the peasant has a gold nugget that size, which would be invaluable. And then the peasant pushes his luck. He goes, no, he plays hard to get. And the Baron begs him, please. And then the peasant says, all right, I don't mind since you insist. And he's really assuming that he's got this gold nugget. So what's this guy's plan? Baron says, don't feel shy. Eat to your heart's content. Now he's not treating him as a peasant. He's treating him as a business partner from whom he wants something. The tenant did not reply. He was too busy eating. And then his friends are seeing him from outside the window. They can't hear the conversation, but they see that he's sat down and he's starting to eat. And they're like behind the wall, he's done it. We've lost the bet. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. They owe him 3 sacks of flour and 2 cows now. So then the peasant finishes his meal. Ah, that was good. And then the Baron says, and now about that nugget of yours. How about selling it to me? I'll give you a ruble for it. I'm a generous man. And then the peasant says, what nugget? I don't have any nugget. Baron says, but I just want to know the price. That's all. So he treated him like Google. What would a gold nugget cost? Siri, what would a gold nugget cost? And the Baron's like, get out. And peasant's like, thanks for the dinner. So, hey, did you notice he avoided a thrashing? And that might have also been part of the bet. Those guys thought that he'd be thrashed. He just threw him out. Ah, the audacity. Sometimes all you just have to do is have the audacity. So he comes out and he says, well, I've done it. Hey, why are you crying? And then these guys say, we're ruined. We have to give you all our possessions. And then the first guy says, don't worry, silly. I don't want your property. I only wanted to teach the nobleman a lesson. And they're happy. Hey, from now on, don't ever feel overawed when you meet a nobleman. They're also men just like you. And this is the exact same thing. The end. The same thing I tell to my kids. Do not feel overwhelmed if you feel somebody who has more goals than you in a game, or they have higher marks than you, or something like that. They're just also a person.